I need a bigger hair tie. Actually, I got a bigger hair tie. I have a whole new level of hair, guys. I stepped up to an extra large, extra thick hair. That's what we're working with. The problem with having long hair and thick long hair is that you get pretty much a headache. So we're just going to put this up. If you guys want to see a hair video from me on how I got my hair so long and what I do to take care of it, please let me know down in the comments, or any other suggestions. I did have a clothing haul suggestion a while ago, so I will be getting to that one as well for different types of videos. But here we go. This is my hair, and hopefully it'll stay out of the way because I do not want a headache. But this is gonna be my meal prepping video for this week. What I'm gonna be eating, I will share with you guys and how to make it. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so first meal that we're gonna be making is super easy. We're gonna be doing my favorite way to cook chicken, which is buying chicken thighs instead of breast. I do love using chicken breast, but chicken thighs, to me, stay the most moist throughout the week in the fridge when you're reheating, versus chicken breast can tend to get a little bit more dry. So we're gonna be baking these with some seasoning. The only thing you're gonna need for that, literally to make the chicken, are those chicken thighs and this seasoning. I got it off Amazon. It's paleo pink powder, and it's with pink Himalayan salt. It's gluten-free. This tastes so good, but you are more than welcome to use any type of seasoning you want, but this is all I use. I don't put anything else. I don't put oil, water. I just put these on a pan and pop it in the oven. The next thing you're gonna need are some baby broccoli. I have been loving baby broccoli lately. If you have never tried baby broccoli, you need to step your broccoli game up because I think they taste a lot better. So we're gonna be making that in another pan, and then we're gonna be making rice in the rice cooker. Okay, so first thing you wanna do for this meal is preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Then, if you guys have a rice cooker, that's gonna be your next step. But if you have to cook rice on the stove, after you get the chicken and the broccoli together, that is when I would start cooking my rice. But since I have a rice cooker, I'm gonna do that next step. So, I buy the long grain, just Kroger brand, normal brown rice, but you can use any rice is fine. I'm going to be using 2 cups, so I measure out 2 cups, and then every rice cooker may be different, but it is equal parts to equal water, so then I'm just gonna fill the water to that line. And now that the water is now in there in the rice, place the lid on, press go, and my rice will be done in about 40 minutes. Okay, so guys, the next, ooh, I always zoomed in. Oh well, my bad. Okay, so the next thing that we guys were gonna be doing is taking our chicken thighs and just placing them on the pans. It is that simple. Like I said, these aren't even nonstick. Well, this one might be a little bit nonstick, but these are some old pans. I've had these pans for years. And this one is from my mom, so I know she's had it even longer than me, so they're old pans basically. And I'm going to fan out the thighs. Don't leave them hugged in, fan it out so that they can cook evenly. And yeah, we're just gonna place all of these there and then put our seasoning on top. Okay, so if you guys are gonna be using, I'll get down to the level. That was fast. So if you guys are using this salt, make sure you season it kind of carefully. You don't wanna overdo it. It can get a little bit too spicy. I like a lot where enough is seasoned, but don't overdo it, especially with this one. Fun fact, I made this exact chicken and rice the first time I met Ronnie when he came down here and meal prepped for him because he was getting ready for a show and he needed some chicken and rice, and this seasoning is very, very healthy for you. So this is all I did with some white rice, and he thought I was like the best cook in the world, so I kind of won his heart over by this chicken. So this is my favorite chicken in the entire world, guys. That's all you have to do. The next step is throwing these bad boys in to the oven. So we're gonna put these aside and get our broccoli ready. So I rinsed my baby broccolis. These are what they look like. I don't know why, I just really like the taste of them better and the way I cook them. So all I do is I just trim the ends off. Put that to the side. That way the ends are nice and fresh. They're gonna go everywhere. This might be a little bit of a messy part, but whatever, guys. I got this nice sheet pan. All I'm gonna do is take off the little hooks and fan out the baby broccoli. So right now we're gonna spice up our veggies. I'm going to be using some olive oil and some pink Himalayan salt. Barely drizzling, barely like twist it on, and then everything's gonna go into the oven. That's it. It's taken me maybe 5 minutes to prep this meal. So now we're gonna be popping in the chicken and the broccoli. I'm gonna put the broccoli on the bottom of our 400-degree oven. Okay, so I popped those into the oven. I'm gonna be checking it in about 20 minutes. I will let you know down below how long this whole meal takes to cook. But that's it, meal one done. The next meals that we will be making, one is my wild card that I'm making up on the fly, the shrimp with zucchini noodles. But that's gonna be on the stovetop, super simple, super fast to make. The other meal I'm gonna be making needs the oven, but one of the parts is some fresh boiled green beans. So what I prepared next in my day was I put on the stove my water, and I'm going to start, oh yeah, there's some oil left over from last night's meal on the stove. Some water, and we're gonna boil that we're gonna put it on high until it gets boiling. And right now what I'm doing is I'm prepping the green beans. So we're gonna cut off all the ends of the green beans, wash them, because I love, it might be tedious to set this up, but I'm in love with fresh green beans. You guys, of course, can get your canned green beans. It'll be a lot faster. You heat up in the microwave, boom, serve in each individual thing. But if you have time to make fresh green beans, I think they taste amazing. So that is what we're gonna do next, is prep the green beans for our third meal. And voila. Okay, so it took me about the perfect amount of time to cut these up, and my water is just about to boil. I'm gonna go ahead and very gently just pour these in there and keep it on high as long as it doesn't start over boiling. Might turn it down just a titch so it doesn't do that. But I'm gonna cook these suckers for probably over 20 minutes so they get nice and soft, and then I will be seasoning them with a little bit of butter, because butter is not death. It still tastes really good, and as long as you're not buttering everything in your life, you can still have stuff like butter and like barbecue sauce and sugar. It's just the amount of stuff you guys are using throughout your day and throughout your week. And this is all we're gonna need for our next dish, I think. So we got some organic veggie zucchini noodles. They don't have to be organic. I got the cooked large tail off shrimp. Tail off, because I hate when it's on. You don't want to eat pasta with the tail on it. And then we have some nice cherry tomatoes. So I've never had this, but it's sweet heat sriracha yogurt dressing. It is 45 calories, has less fat, less sugar. I've only heard about these. I've never actually had any of their salad dressings, but I thought this might be a good flavor to try as a dressing, as opposed to just like what everyone does, the scampi with shrimp. But you'd have to be able to get this freaking thing off. I mean, it's been a second since I've been to the gym, maybe like a couple hours. Okay, here we go. Ah, there's the spice. It's like sweet and spicy. So I'm thinking this with maybe some chili flakes. But You guys, you can find these at the store. It is a lot easier than having your own and grating down a zucchini into a noodle. It is totally up to you. Yes, this is a tiny bit pricier, but I think this saves time, so I would rather spend for the time because I don't have a lot of time in my life and I don't want to be cooking the entire day. So just zucchini noodles. I'm going to turn on our pan to a medium heat, medium to high, probably like 6 or 7, and then we'll get cooking. Okay, so we have our pan preheated, and now I'm going to add a little bit of garlic infused oil. You guys don't have to, but just to make it a little bit different. Oil the pan, and then I'm going to pop in our cooked shrimp just to get them nice and heated. Next, I'm gonna add in some pepper. And some pink Himalayan salt. And our noodles. Handful of cherry tomatoes. So we still have our green beans going. So just gonna give it a quick stir, and by the touch and the tell of this still needs at least 20 more minutes. And we got this cooking. I already took out the broccoli after 20 minutes, is completely done. My rice cooker just went off, that is completely done. And we're waiting on the chicken for just a little bit longer. Okay, so all I'm gonna actually add into my zucchini noodles and my shrimp dish is I added a handful of the cherry tomatoes. I did some salt, some pepper, and some crushed red pepper. And I used this garlic infused olive oil. But you guys are more than welcome. You can always just drizzle olive oil in the pan and some minced or very freshly crushed or like a pre-minced garlic. And so I'm gonna have garlic and red pepper seasoning instead of the yogurt sauce, because after I tasted my sriracha yogurt sauce idea, I feel like it's gonna be too heavy of a dish. I kind of wanted something a little bit lighter, hence why I'm using the veggie noodles, and I didn't want as much carbs. And a yogurt sauce, maybe it's because I don't eat a lot of yogurt, felt very heavy. This is also more sweeter than it is spicy, so if you guys hadn't had this sauce. So I'm just gonna X this one out, but I'm still thinking it's gonna be pretty good with my garlic, my crushed red pepper, and tomatoes. Okay you guys, so for the finished look, this is what it's gonna look like. A little bit soggy, but it's actually really good cooked that way. But just a fair warning, for my peeps that don't like spicy things, do not put the crushed red pepper in when you are cooking this meal. You can have it on the side for any of your other family members or people you might be making this for, but it gives us a really nice kick when you put the crushed red pepper in when you're cooking. So just a warning, I love it the way it turned out, but it is spicy. So I'm gonna add a lot more pepper and salt, and I think when I eat this, I will be sprinkling some Parmesan cheese on top, just a little bit, and it's good to go. So then I'm gonna be putting in some butter, and the butter I'm going to be using is this avocado-based butter. Tastes like butter, it's pretty bomb. So I'm gonna be using about this much butter for the entire thing. We're just gonna stir this around. I'm going to portion them out and then rinse off that pot, and we're going to start cooking our next and final meal. Okay, so our chicken is done. It took 40 minutes because we were cooking the broccoli with it, and we had two things. And that is what we want it to look like on the inside. I don't know if you guys can tell. It's nice and juicy. There's not any pink. Beautiful. And the outsides get a little bit crispy just because of their own juices and all of the seasoning. but this is the best chicken in the entire world. If you take away anything, one thing, this chicken, try it. Like, if you're gonna try any of my videos, try this chicken, because literally the best chicken ever. Ask my boyfriend, ask my friends. This is like my favorite in the world. And it's so simple. Chicken, one seasoning, that's it. All right, I'm going to distribute and we'll start our last meal. Okay, so mine versus my boyfriend's, if you guys can tell the difference. So I got a 1/3 cup of rice, he got 2/3 cups of rice, and about half the amount of protein I'm going to be consuming. But don't worry guys, I eat 6 times a day. So this might look like a small meal, but when you eat 6 meals a day, it's a lot. Okay, so that giant pan of broccoli, 2 cups of rice, and 2 things of chicken prepped 6 meals for me and 4 meals for my boyfriend. Our final meal, I'm going to prep some salmon. So I just got this nice Atlantic salmon from Fry's, and I already lined up my oil. I already lined the pan, and we are just going to place with the skin and everything. Just be careful of that piece of paper. Place it face up, beautifully down in the foil. Next thing I do is I cut up some lemons, because I absolutely love lemon and salmon. So first, I just cut one, and I'm gonna squeeze the lemon juice all around it. Next thing I do is I use some coconut oil. This might look weird, but I'm just going to dab it here and there. Sometimes I will take the time to put the coconut in a microwave so that it's already defrosted, but this is my salmon. My hands are washed, and I don't really care. I'm going to add some lemon pepper and some parsley flakes. Take my lemon, slice up a few pieces so that it cooks with the lemon juices on there. Ta-da! And then you're just going to wrap up so that when it cooks, it's out. And I will probably add another little piece of foil right here. My salmon is all ready to go in the oven. I have it nice and foiled up. I preheated the oven to 450 degrees. I'm going to pop that in and set my timer for 12 minutes and check that way. So just in case, I think it's gonna take closer to 25, maybe even 30 minutes to cook because it was a bigger piece of fish. But since I have it so high on the level of degrees, I'm just gonna keep checking it, and I will let you guys know down below again how long this takes me. But I'm going to now start my potatoes. So I got a full bag of red potatoes here. I don't know if I'll be using all of it. I probably will not. But I'm gonna be making some mashed potatoes with these red potatoes because they're so bomb. And I do love sweet potatoes, but every once in a while, we gotta mix it up. All right, so now I'm gonna cut these up and bring them to boil. If you guys have more than one pan, I would be doing this step prior to prepping the salmon. So as I was doing the green beans, I probably would have prepped this and then done my salmon, and these would have already been done, and I've been done with my meal prep by now. But I don't mind taking my time. I have some time to kill before my boyfriend gets off work. So that is why I'm doing it this way. Okay, so I have my pot full of water again on high on the stove so that it will start to boil. I basically am super simple when it comes to washing my fruit and my vegetables and potatoes, and I wash it in the sink and leave it in the bag. Like just rinse water under it. And now I'm just gonna be taking out the potatoes, dicing them in 4. I love leaving on the skin. It is my favorite part of potato, and the red potatoes are really good. So I'm impatient, it's almost boiling, but I don't want to wait. So I'm just going to gently place, we're gonna make splashes. There's probably a safer way to do this, like using a spoon, placing it in, but like I said, I'm a little impatient and I'll clean up the water droplets off my stove. But now we're gonna let these boil and cook until they're tender so you can like smush them really easily with a fork. Then we'll mash these puppies up. The salmon should be done, and then I will be done cooking for this week's meal prepping video. So I didn't use the entire bag of the red potatoes. So what I did was I cut up the same way as I did before, but I placed the rest of the potatoes on foil in a sheet pan. I'm going to drizzle some olive oil and some some pink Himalayan salt and pepper seasoning all on top of it. Once my salmon is done, I'm gonna pop these into the oven for about 15, 20 minutes and then broil them for a good 5 to 10 minutes. And these will be some breakfast potatoes when we eat our eggs for our protein. So another idea if you have too many potatoes. So my potatoes, I put them into a different dish because I think this one's a lot easier to clean. So I'm just gonna be adding a little bit of milk. Normally I would use unsweetened almond milk, but I realize I only have vanilla, so I don't want vanilla tasting mashed potatoes. I'm gonna be using this butter, a little bit of the garlic olive oil for flavor, and salt and pepper to make my mashed potatoes. So this is what they turned out to look like. You just add in as you go to taste. Start small, don't use too much butter. And the salmon is all done. This is what you want it to look like, guys. You want it to flake, not be smushy on the inside, and no extra pink. So everything is nice in a brighter pink, but not that really red, deep pink. And then breakfast potatoes. Well, we gotta mix it up. Something happened. I don't know what happened. There's a ghost in my oven, guys. He brought me flowers. So this guy gets me flowers all the time. And mine were dying. So he just surprised me with these beautiful roses. They're so pretty. Thank you, honey.
She deserves them. She's the best.
Best boyfriend ever.